Okay, we move on to our final presenter for today, and that is Linius Technologies Limited. Linius has an ASX code of LNU, and it has a market cap of approximately $10 million. Linius is redefining video-rich markets around the globe and transforming the way the world watches video. Linius is the only solution that puts the viewer in complete control of their viewing experience, enabling each viewer to deep dive into the content and create their own hyper-personalised compilation videos. Presenting from the company today is their Chief Executive Officer, James Brennan. James, welcome back to the network, and please take it away.
Thank you, Manny, and thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm really excited to tell you the latest updates and give you a bit of an overview about what Linius does. As Manny said, we are focused on video, and we've got a unique way of working with video that lets our customers, who are typically large video rights holders from sports, news, entertainment, broadcast, we allow them to work with video in a much more effective and efficient manner. If you've ever worked with video before, it is a very difficult medium to work with, very large video files, moving video around, transcoding video, storing video is a very painful and processor intensive proposition. We've got a patented methodology and a SaaS-based platform that allows us to turn video into data. We turn big chunky video files into very small, lightweight data elements that we can then manipulate, manage, and put back together in any combination. That's what allows that hyper-personalized video streaming that Manny mentioned. So if we jump forward, please. Quickly, our standard disclaimer. And so what we allow our customers to do is to lift engagement through those down periods. So in the video industry, particularly in sport, which is where we're heavily focused, a lot of effort and a lot of time goes into that live event, driving maximum revenue and engagement from that live event. But then there's these huge troughs between those live events from week to week or even between seasons. And our customers are missing out on opportunities to monetize the video goldmine that they're sitting on. They have these video assets that they've spent a ton of money either acquiring or producing, and they've done a great job of doing that for the live event. But those assets are still incredibly valuable during that midweek period or post-season, between seasons. And we've got some amazing tools and products that allow them to monetize that through those down periods. So if you jump forward to build the slide, what we do is we help them fill those troughs. We do have some tools that help them lift the engagement during the live events as well. But during those midweek troughs or postseason troughs, we allow them to utilize their archive video. And that's everything from the match that just finished a couple of minutes ago, all the way back through, decades old content, which is now receiving a revived interest. The renewed interest in archive sport is amazing. So if you look at the Beckham documentary or the quarterback documentary on Netflix, there is this huge interest in historical sports content. We allow our customers to unlock the value in those archives, combine that with their recent content to create really deep access to those videos, creating personalized viewing experiences for fans so you get to see exactly what you want to see, and then creating communities around that where fans can, design their own personalized channels, their own personalized video streams, highlights of their favorite players and actions, and share those with others in the community. So we're effectively turning the entire community into a content creation and production capability for those rights holders. Moving to the next slide. So what that does is that creates a complete matrix of value creation. So our customers who are the rights holders, whether that's a sports federation and league, a broadcaster, or another major rights holder of that content, they have access to that gold mine, to that content that's sitting there, and they have access to the viewers. And what we do is we give them an engine to maximize every dollar out of that content. So today, a lot of them are focused on creating and curating content. They have teams of people. Some broadcasters have armies of people who are creating content, highlights after the match, driving stuff to social media. We can make that far more effective and cost efficient. But what we then do that they're not doing very well today is putting the viewer in direct control of that, giving viewers access to that entire depth of content and allowing them to find exactly what they want to find and create their own personalized streams. And then our technology combines with that to then create recommended content based on your searches, based on what you're looking for, based on what others are doing in the community, and drive that content. So we can drive fans from being, very casual new fans into a particular sport or experience and drive them into becoming a much more active, engaged member of the community. And in the end, that drives revenue for our customers because the more content they produce, the more that's watched. That drives monetization through sponsorships, advertising, ticket sales, merchandise sales, whatever their particular method of driving value is. So next slide, please. And we've got different products and tools to do that. So we've got a core platform that allows us to create all sorts of different products and experiences with this highly efficient use of video. So for the rights holders themselves and broadcasters, we have the world's best search capability within video, deep search to find exactly what I want. Do I want to see every Shane Warne wicket against India? Do I want to see every goal by David Beckham from outside the penalty area? I can search for exactly what I want and very quickly put together highlight videos, curated content that I want to publish to my website. Cricket Australia is doing this today with our solution, and they're averaging a savings of 8 hours per video that they're creating for their website. We've also been able to programmatically create highlight packages, batting highlights, bowling highlights, game summaries. We did that for every game in the Cricket Australia archive back to 1975 in a matter of seconds. And they're now publishing those highlight videos out to a 24-hour streaming channel. So that's the kind of efficiency that we can drive for the content holders. But then we put that directly in the hands of fans. We enable our customers to create their own YouTube-like experiences on their website. So instead of pushing all their content up to YouTube where they lose control of it, they lose the monetization of it, we put that onto their own website where fans can go in, search for what they want, and pull up greater depth than they would ever find on YouTube. And then we provide rated content, recommended content, and driving that familiar social kind of experience. And our technology can then start to push content based on what you've engaged with. We will then continue to drive that and drive people into greater and greater levels of personalization. So if you're a sports fan, this is amazing for you. You might end up finding yourself just immersed in, your favorite teams and players for a number of hours. Applications in sport today, but we are talking to a number of broadcasters as well for applications of personalized and regionalized news, fan groups for, entertainment content. So the application is very wide-reaching as well. Next slide, please. And we're working with major rights holders around the world. We're currently very focused on sport. About 95% of our efforts are currently in the sports market, but we are starting to branch more into news and entertainment. Our core technology has applications in diverse industries, even into security and defense. But in the sports industry, where we're experiencing our greatest growth, we've got huge customers, including IMG, Inverley Media, Racing.com, NAHL in the US and around the world. Jumping forward, IMG, one of the biggest sports federations and rights holders in the world, is using our technology across 40 plus sports federations. And that's really putting a spotlight on our company. Jump forward, please. It's putting global spotlight on our technology, available from one of the leading providers in the world. We're now getting great validation out of that, and that's driving significant momentum for us. Quickly jumping forward, we've recently also launched in the US with our first US college conference, and jumping forward one more. And that's important to us because it represents a huge opportunity for us. Jumping forward. The sports market, the college sports market in the US is massive, huge investment and huge viewership there. We estimate that that market for us is worth over $70 million per year. Jumping forward one more. And then in terms of our results over the past year, we've seen great acceleration of our financial results. For financial year 23, we reported an 82% year-on-year growth. At the beginning of this year, we reported that we had already secured a 49% growth for the FY24 period. And for the first half of FY24, our results over the prior year period were 2.5 to 3 times what they were last year in billings, revenue, and cash receipts. Lastly, where the growth is going to come from, we see huge opportunity on the next slide. Huge opportunity with existing clients who are growing with us. Once we get into one sport like Cricket Australia, we're now talking to multiple cricket federations around the world. We're about to announce our first football customer. We've got new geographies that are being covered. As I said, this year we've entered the US market for the first time, and we're working on our first large-scale TV and OTT broadcast customer as well. So we're really excited about the products and technology that we have, really excited about the growth that is available to us and the results that we've been able to return to our shareholders. Thank you.
James, thank you for that. As always, very interesting. We do have a couple of questions that have come in, so I'll just let me ask you those. The first one is a question which I'm sure you've been asked before, and that is, is Linius technology just for sports, or can it be used, applied to create to other, other segments or other sectors? So, for example, movies, TV series, that type of content.
Yeah, 100%. So we're very focused on the sports market, specifically because that's where our growth has been over the last 2 years and where we've got tremendous momentum and great use cases and validation. Sports came naturally to us because there is so much data available for sport. Every sport has coverage of what's happening every moment of the game. That data is used for broadcast and wagering. So that's a great market for us, where it's data rich and deeply engaged viewers. So that's where we started. But the technology, we also have customers in education. The broadcasters we're talking to about sport are immediately saying, well, if we can do it for sport, let's do it for personalized and localized news, as well as entertainment content. And then we've even done applications of our technology into security and defense for things like surveillance and tracking. Okay, great.
So, there's quite a bit that this can be applied to, obviously. Okay, the next question is around the competitive landscape. So what does your competitive landscape look like? And more importantly, are there a lot of companies or other companies doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so it's interesting. There's not many companies doing the personalized video, and that's primarily because it's really hard to do. We do have some competitors in what I would call traditional automated highlights. So a lot of the highlights that you see on, broadcast TV or on social media, there's a few companies who are really focused on pulling out the top moments from live sport, pulling out the goals, pulling out the major baskets, the winning shot in the tournament, and being able to push those to social media very quickly. And they can do that because they're pulling out, a small amount of video. We're going into incredible depth and incredible, depth of the archive, and their technologies just don't allow them to do that. So they're our nearest competitors. There's a couple of companies that are very focused on automated highlights. But again, because their technology isn't as efficient as Linius's technology, they can't do the depth that we do. So we compete with them in certain areas, but a lot of our customers actually use both our competitors and Linius for different use cases.
Okay, that's pretty clear. And just one more to wrap up, James. This one is saying the technology seems like a no-brainer for streaming services and broadcasters. So what sort of roadblocks are you hitting in terms of uptake, if any? And then it goes on to say, why aren't more broadcasters using your tech?
So the roadblocks were primarily around market validation. So we built this technology over kind of the last 5 years, built the core capability, but only about 2 years ago where we started to come out with our first full end-to-end products that customers could just take the technology, take our products and deploy them and start getting value out of them very quickly. So it was us getting to the point where our products were ready for customers to deploy and then getting those first customers on board. We started out with individual teams and smaller leagues and federations. We started out regionally in Australia, grew into Europe and now into the US, and got to the point where we now have major federations who have valid proof that this technology is providing value for them. And frankly, our most recent deployment in January with IMG, that product going live with one of the biggest companies in the sports and entertainment industry, their validation of our technology has opened up and accelerated that jump into the broadcast space. Broadcasters really needed to see that initial validation from the market. And now that we've got that, we're seeing a great acceleration into that broadcast space. And once we get one broadcaster, we believe that quite a few are going to follow suit.
James, thank you for your time today. That was great, and we hope to see you back again soon. Until then, have a great weekend.
Thanks, Manny.